G'day, folks. Chris and Paul back with another insight session where we talk about stuff that's going on in the world of marketing and digital and how businesses can do better business online, grow their businesses using Google marketing, advertising, PPC, all that good stuff, build better websites. And today we're going to look at something probably for your more established businesses, more established, particularly sort of e-commerce businesses where maybe you're up and running, you're doing good volume, you're looking to scale your business. A lot of us can get stuck in this kind of myopic marketing where like we're crushing it on Facebook. So we just stay on Facebook. We stay with Facebook ads because that's been working. That's great. But if Facebook goes away tomorrow or your account gets hacked or shut down, suddenly you've got no business, you've got no traffic. So that's kind of what we're going to cover today. Around essentially having more of a multiple channel, omni-channel approach to marketing, particularly for e-com stores where your businesses are so predicated on that flow of traffic. So Paul, let's get into it. Why is it so important to kind of have that redundancy built into your traffic strategy? I guess at a certain stage, right? Once you sort of past your initial growth, you're sort of in that scale phase. Why is that so important?
Yeah, sure. So, again, this should be a good episode. I was chatting to multiple clients this week, and multiple new clients as well. And most people kind of tend to start out and they're like, we'll start off doing AdWords and we'll do AdWords for like 6 months and then see how we go. And then we'll do SEO and then we'll do content. And part of that is a good place to start because you start off with AdWords and you can get some good data coming through and you can replicate that into SEO. But I find that a lot of people have this fear of jumping into multiple service layers. So as an example, I was talking to someone again recently and his Google AdWords has been crushing it for ages, for like months and months and months. And then it's declined over the last 2 weeks or so. And at the same time, his SEO has also declined over the last 2 weeks ago. We weren't managing, someone else was managing his SEO. More than likely, they've probably pulled all his backlinks down and removed the PBNs that were pumping to his site and stuff. So he's noticed a little bit of a dip with the Google AdWords, but his SEO stuff has just dropped off a cliff. Now, I've been speaking to this person for ages. I'm like, mate, you need to get on top of this and fix this as quickly as you can months ago, because this is what's going to happen. And now this is happening. So he's kind of, this person's like, oh, we'll just try and get AdWords going better and performing better again. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like AdWords is already performing pretty good, but you really need to bring this SEO up as quickly as possible so you can get that lead flow coming through. And then you need to bolt on a content marketing strategy as well so that you can also layer that up as well. So, if you think from like an e-com point of view, and that's what I'm talking about, like an e-com business, and I've had similar chats with multiple people this week, there's kind of like 3 audiences in Google. There's the kind of person who clicks a Google ad, and then there's the kind of person that goes, I freaking hate Google ads. I'm going to go straight down and scroll and see who's ranking organically. And then there's the person that's got too much time in their hand and they go, don't like Google ads. Bit paranoid about the first 2 or 3 people. I'm going to see if I can find a blog. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of recommend most people do all 3 of those things as quickly as they can and as quickly as they can afford to do so. So
you're talking about somebody that's essentially looking to like one of their platforms has kind of caught fire as they're like fallen off a cliff and they're like, holy shit, let's stop everything until we can get one of them back up and running. You're kind of saying that let's go the other way and actually build these other things back up to sort of build redundancy back into that system, because that one platform's probably SEO that's dropped off, that's going to take some time to build back up again. So rather than pausing everything and waiting for that to come back and maybe wasting 3 to 6 months, right? Let's set some other things on fire and get traffic coming in from other places. So it sounds a little bit, I guess, oppositional to what some businesses might think. I think that's a pretty natural inclination to go, holy shit, let's just stop it. I don't want to bleed money. If the traffic's not coming in, I'm not making sales. So what's the uptick there? Obviously, you want traffic from other sources, but what's that? You talk about the 3 types of users. What's the uptick of kind of adding another channel in when you got underperforming channels, let's say?
Well, Google AdWords, for example, pretty quickly you can rectify what's going on in that issue, unless you have a serious issue like your credit card gets banned and your account gets shut down, or a competitor comes along and crushes you or something. So that's fine. But rectifying an issue with like an SEO strategy or a content marketing strategy, like you said, it can take 6 to 12 months to kick in. So if you can't rectify that issue with that AdWords account for whatever reason, then you're in a very bad place. What are you going to do? Like, you've got nothing's working on AdWords. You've got this 6 to 12 months lag on, SEO and content, and then you've got a warehouse full of stock. Shit. Okay, well, my only other option is let's go throw up some Facebook ads or some TikTok ads or whatever. But I mean, if you're going down to that path, you may as well just start at Google anyway. So I mean, we speak a lot about Google because we're a Google agency, and it's largely where a lot of people start. So there's kind of like a base level of stuff that you need to be doing in your e-com business, and it's really mastering those channels, and having redundancy on those channels. So it's like, okay, here's my plan. If it goes to shit in any of them, here's my backup plan, and here's my backup plan as well. Like, I always had that at Warcom, I'd always be like, all right, cool. So a competitor's outspending us at AdWords, that's cool. We can quickly move into this area of SEO stuff. So I know that I can get these categories ranking quickly. I can get these articles ranking quickly. I could get whatever else ranking quickly. And then we're right whilst we salvage that. But, and it can also happen, like a competitor can come along and crush you from an SEO point of view and a content point of view and an AdWords point of view. So even again, in that situation, pretty quickly, you're going to be like, wow, how can I amplify all three of those things as quickly as possible? And the answer certainly not like, well, I'll just stop and I'll just see what happens and I'll try and get one working. That's like, if you're not growing in ecom every month on month kind of thing, you're dying, you know what I mean? Because everyone else is growing. So you're here and you're just cruising along, and then, they're coming along and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's a dangerous place to really stay in.
Yeah. So really the recommendation is maybe not to, as you said, sort of piecemeal start one thing, then once that's going, get the next one going, really to kind of layer those services in from the start. So right, I'm going to say I'm going to use Facebook just to change the platform for a second. Say I'm going to focus on Facebook. So I'm not just going to do Facebook ads. I'm also going to have a Facebook organic strategy. I'm going to set up a Facebook group. I'm going to be posting and doing, that sort of organic manual connection, adding friends, having chats in Messenger. So I've got multiple layers of conversations that I'm having inside that channel. That's a similar idea to what you're saying on Google or LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever you're using, to not just have the paid campaign, the PPC vertical inside that platform, but to also have blog publishing, content, SEO, have all these, as many possible things happening within that platform, if you like. And then I guess that next piece is right. Then I can scale out to, say, multiple platforms. But if we're talking particularly in one platform, make sure that you're utilizing all of the traffic sources simultaneously as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason we push Google so hard is because it's like an immediate intent. People are going to Google to find those things. So whether they click an ad or they click an organic piece of content or they click a blog or they click a shopping campaign or whatever, like they're hot, they're ready to go. So that business is always there, whereas you go and throw ads up on Pinterest or Facebook or whatever and try and get in front of the right people at the right time with the right amount of cash and, they're interested. Like it's a harder campaign to really get cracking easy as well. So I guess like to wrap up this episode, I'm mindful that we want to keep these short. It's that, make sure you have a backup plan and, make sure you're in a position to adapt and move quickly with each of those campaigns as well. Again, work with an agency or do it yourself, but just do it. Like if you're no good at SEO, get someone to help you with SEO. If you're no good at AdWords, that's good. If you're okay at AdWords, get started on it, then get an expert to help you, so we go ahead. This is what I can do. How do I do this? How do I scale to this level? And okay, look, I can do blogs. So, work with the partner or work with whoever or work with your team to do those, but like, again, my takeaway is just do all of them as quickly as possible, and at least on Google, start there, get that working, get it converting, and then just scale it up. So it's it's a great, really good thing to do.
Yeah. I think that's a good plan for people. So, as I say, the intentions there specifically on Google, people are literally typing searches in, right? They're looking for something versus Facebook, where it may or may not be the right time. So, yeah, good place to start. And I think that idea of layering in those services from the start, having that redundancy baked in just in case one of them goes to shit or falls over or something happens. The more prepared you are to maintain that traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes a lot of sense.
Cool.
Short and sweet. We're bang on sort of 10 minutes, which is where we want to be. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope that was useful, and we'll catch you on the next one.